A tiny gesture has blown up into a full-length headline. Dani Ceballos, the boy from the Real Madrid academy who has always worn his Betis roots close to his chest, quietly liked an Instagram edit that pictured him and Anthony in real Betis shirts. And that single tap reopened a transfer story that many thought had already cooled down. A like is ephemeral, its consequences are not. For Betis fans, it felt like destiny knocking. For Madrid, it read like a public reminder that one of their squad members still keeps one foot, and possibly one heart, in Seville. The simplest facts matter. Ceballos remains tied to Real Madrid by a contract that runs until 2027, yet multiple reports say the club would only approve an exit for offers in the region of Euros 15 million. A sum that Real Betis, at least publicly, have struggled to match. That arithmetic, nostalgia against balance sheets, is the engine of the drama. To understand why a social media gesture became a story that could shape a transfer window, you need to know the player and the context. Dani Ceballos arrived at Madrid as a teenager from Betis Academy. He's had moments where his passing and technique looked world-class, and other seasons where injuries and squad competition reduced his minutes. He had productive loans abroad that reminded everyone what he can do, but at Madrid he has often been a squad player rather than a guaranteed starter. Now under Xabi Alonso, midfield competition is fierce. Names like Tchouaméni, Arda Güler, Valverde and Bellingham dominate conversation, and Ceballos finds himself lower down the pecking order. That sporting reality helps explain why whispers about a move back to Betis feel logical from the player's point of view. More minutes, emotional return, and the chance to rebuild momentum where it all began. But football is never only about sentiment. Real Madrid's stance on price, reports point to an asking number in the Euros 15 million area, turns what might have been a fairy tale homecoming into a negotiation problem. Betis president and sporting directors know club finances intimately. Paying a big fee for a player approaching 30, however beloved, stretches budgets and forces hard choices about squad priorities. So you have three competing pressures in a single story: a player's personal wishes, a buying club's financial reality, and a selling club's valuation and squad planning. That explains the stalemate sensation that ripples through social feeds and locker room corridors. Now imagine the practical outcomes. One path is a loan. Betis takes Ceballos on the short term, perhaps with an option to buy later if results and finances allow. That would satisfy the player's desire for minutes and keep Madrid's balance sheet flexible. Another path is a straight sale if Betis find buyers, partners, or agree a structured payment that suits both sides. A third outcome is no movement. Madrid hold, the player remains, and the story simmers until either injuries or form force a reassessment. Each scenario has consequences beyond one man. Madrid's squad depth, Betis' creative options, and the message clubs send when players signal their wishes on social platforms. This moment is also a case study in modern football's publicity economy. A like is a small act that becomes a headline because fans and media are primed to read meaning into every online gesture. It's a reminder that players are human beings with loyalties and long memories, and clubs are organisations that measure loyalty against trophies and budget. For Ceballos personally, whoever frames the end of this saga will have shaped a defining chapter of his career. A romantic return at the right price could restore him as a leader in Seville. Staying and fighting for minutes would show resilience and patience under a demanding coach. For Madrid, the choice tests whether sentiment can be monetised without harming the squad. For Betis, it tests whether identity signings still fit modern budgets. Whatever the immediate outcome, loan, sale or stay, the bigger lesson is clear. Tiny online gestures can trigger real-world consequences in 21st century football. Watch the window now. A single like might be the first scene of a transfer movie, or it might be the last small ripple before a quieter compromise. Either way, fans in Seville are already talking, Madrid officials are already calculating, and Dani Ceballos has reminded everyone that in football, hearts and ledgers often collide.